anything that a selector says to dance is gospel. If the selector says jump off a speaker box, land in a split and then roll go down Mountain View Avenue and then catch pan Luke Lane downtown, you will do it. I wish some of these dancer selectors would be like, you know what? All of the girls that want to run go for you and register and get a degree. Woo!
At a time when local vlogging was still in its infancy, he wagered all on the uncharted career path.
When they left Jamaica, jet black like an acorn. And after only 2 months up, they don't come down a favor time machine.
Comedian Russian Dutty is here with us today. Dutty. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay now.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the show. All right. You seem to have an interesting life growing up. You talk a lot about your mother. You talk a lot about some experiences with your mother. Tell me about your mother and the experiences of growing up.
Oh, that's a very loaded question. My mother's relationship, boy, I love my mother, but my mother is, you know, the epitome of a Jamaican mother. That very stern. My mother, she doesn't play. I used to get beaten. Like, people know me at school for getting beaten. I got beaten up until UA. Me, I tell you, I got beaten up until like 21 years old. Like, I was the old brother. I got whooped at 20.
Is it because she's that serious or because you just give trouble?
No, I don't give trouble, but my mother, she you know, some parents have the thing like, once you're under my roof,
okay,
you're still, so probably the beating don't get as bad, like, you know, hold out belt, but you know, you get a 1 and 2 spark there and there.
There would have been some experiences even at school and stuff like that.
Okay, so there's a moment in primary school. I attended Jesserpal primary, and I think in 6th grade, one of the first times I took the bus downtown, and I heard a song by Zebra that says something about something being cut in two, half is for one person, half is for another person.
I remember that.
And so when I heard the song, I was just like, whoa, you know, this is dancehall. So I came back to school singing it the next day and in front of the classroom, and I'm just like, you know, half is, you know, and then when I was doing that and I looked around, I realized my teacher was there and she heard me, and the entire classroom railed up. My teacher called my mother the next day. I just know some mommy.
And in those days, teachers could call mommy and mommy.
Yeah, some mommy showed up there, man, and mommy come and said, what are you singing? And then I said, no. Mommy's just like, what you say? And when I opened and I said the first line, woof! Yeah, man, that was it. But yeah, I learned after that to only listen like the clean version. So at home I just listen to the clean version. But yeah, mommy's always been there, very supportive. Very supportive now in terms of the career.
How did you develop this style of language, I will call it, as to how you describe something, describe an experience, describe an event? It's pretty colorful.
I don't know, you know, certain things just come from just a place that I can't explain. I've never said, prior to me being on YouTube, I've never said the word box cover. Things like my word, my sentence, my paragraph has never been in my vocabulary. I guess I came in front of the camera and it just kind of happened. I don't know to describe it, but I know my family were very expressive people. And so, because my grandmother Joyce, you know.
Oh, you get from Miss Joyce.
Yeah, she's very big on storytelling, and she have one of them grandmother laugh. Hey, whoa, you know them, whoa, like she have like that. And my father, you know, my father, he's more stern, but when you hear my father laugh, you know, my father have one of them, you know, them Oliver Samuel's hearty laughing, him have a big man laugh, like it's really good. So I feel like I just kind of, you know,
get a mixture of everybody's. Right, now the name Dutty. Why Dutty? No, why Dutty out of all the names? What happened?
All right, so in high school, there's a short story. In high school, how I got the name, my surname is actually Berry. In high school, I think I used to have like walk around with bags, and I never really liked my bag. Cause, you know, all the kids had like John Sport or Wolf Creek or some other brand. My mother had a company bag. You know, and so I never like it in that brand. So I used to just come into the classroom and leave it to the back of the class. The cleaning lady side say a oofa dirty bag, a girl say a berry dirty bag, and somehow somebody put the dirty and the berry together, and bam, that was like my school name. So when I wanted to start a show, I was like, the Russian Berry YouTube channel, it sound alright, man. Like, and at that time you had the Raga Shanty. and you had the Muta Baruka. So I said, maybe I want a little Ray Ray type of name and stuff. And I remember the name that the girl gave me at high school. So I said the Dutty Berry, because people are going, it's a new blackberry, what is it? Yeah, so yeah.
And it took off?
It took off, like people liked it, because once they saw the name, it was just like, wait, what's this? Dutty Berry. I want to see what this is about, and then, yeah.
You would have featured like the Casey Fennell, the Yendi on the show. Tell me about those experiences.
I don't know, but here I'm a big fan of Yendi from long time, from long time. I used to go to YVA and broke through the general section to go through the VIP, so I could meet Yendi. And if you go on Yendi's fan page right now, she have like some big ultimate fans. And I'm in one of the photo albums, because I used to kind of stalk Yendi. If you go on YouTube now, on my old channel, there's a video dedicated to Yendi, just like pictures of Yendi alone. This is really weird. But I feel like I'm a person that should really be Jamaica's cheerleader. So whenever we are having a national moment, I feel as if Dutty Berry should be attached to it. And so when Yendi represented Jamaica in Miss Universe, and we had Casey Fennell in the same competition as well, and Davina Bennett, definitely it made sense for me to be a part of it and to really just capture the emotions of the people at the time.
Yeah. So what sort of feedback you got from the Davina, the Casey, the Yendi who you stalked?
Yeah, all of them actually replied, and Yendi is very cool. And I worked on another show with Yendi as well, and so I've had to have actual personal communication with them, and so that's been cool. Casey, she saw the video, she loved it. She said me a DM. Similar thing for Davina. Davina is very supportive, and so all of them are Beridas.
Well, what is good is that once something is happening, something big, people go to your channel to see what you do and how you capture the moment.
And I didn't know that initially, because when you're doing something and trying to find out how do you fit into the scheme of things, there are so many other influencers, but what is the thing that makes me stand out from them? And so somebody said it to me and said I should be like Jamaica's cheerleader. So whenever we're having a moment, people should be like, what is Dutty Berry doing to kind of push this moment? So whether it be the reggae girls, whether it be Shelly and Fraser or something on the track, if it's going to be football, I should be there documenting that moment.
Because the truth is, I remember also with Tessanne.
Yes.
During the voice, right? I went, when I missed it, I went to your page now to see what happened.
Yeah, a lot of persons said that, that was a fun moment for me, and still know it's crazy that because of that Tessanne video, I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I think it gave me the push, because I was on YouTube for about 5 or 6 years, and not really getting the bus, and you see other people start after you and get the big break, and I'm just like, why? And I remember I gave myself, in 2013, I said, if this don't work out this year, that's it. I go and just go back to the regular 9 to 5 type of operation. And I remember I started out January, there was a first video, get some views, and then the views kind of picked up where I'm getting my first 10,000, then 50,000. I did a video about Rosie, 30 grand.
Right.
And I was just like, this is still not really it, but by September hit, it was just the Tessanne moment, and then my life changed.
Box cover! Shinita good as boss another one. Shinita, Lego D, Miss Lou, long time girl me never see you, lavish walk and wine. Shinita good as start turn the people them good stage in a Stone Love session. Shinita, the squeaky jiggly puff thing the way you are do with your voice. I like it. Recycle it for next week. Congratulations, Chinita Goodas.
And the name Chinita Goodas, how you coined that name?
Once again, the camera is on, and I just said it. I do not know where it came from. I just said it because it wasn't one of those things that was scripted. It just came up. But she looked like it. I think she fit the name like Chinita Goodas. Tessanne Chin. You just put in the suffix. Is that you call it? You attach that to the eater, and then that's it. So you can make anybody a Goodas.
And then again, that just took off.
That took off, and people loved the name, and till this day, people refer to her as Chinita Goodas.
Well, what was it like meeting Tessanne?
There's a video on YouTube right now. I was stunned. Basically, Novy McDonald White, she called me down to the Observer. I had no idea. I thought I was just going there for an interview. When I, bust open the door, all of a sudden it's Tessanne that me see, and Tessanne is coming towards me to give me a hug. And I was starstruck. And the first thing I said to her is like, "Yo, you smell good." Like I just kept on repeating how she smelled good. It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. The first thing I thought, I was like, yo, you know, I'm such a fan, you know, you did great. I was like, geez, you smell good. That was it. That was it.
Again, just out of your mouth.
Yeah, and if you see her, you should smell her too. She smells good.
Yeah. All right, we take a break. When we come back, we talk more with Dutty Berry about his life-changing experiences. Welcome back to the show. Russian Dutty Berry is here with us. Now, Dutty Berry, social media, what's the space like now versus 5 years ago?
That's a nice question. I believe we have a lot more influencers on it. As we're talking about social media, people are now using it a lot more to promote themselves, you know, businesses, brands, and I feel as if it has given young people an excellent way to actually showcase them talent and bypass some of the traditional spaces. And so somebody who wants to be a business person, an entrepreneur, doesn't necessarily have to probably go to the bank and certain places for certain resources. No, they can actually have a base, have a base first and understand that demand and know they're able to give their products. But outside of that, we have a lot of negativity on social media that, you know, it's increasing year by year, and so people actually have, you know, mental health issues arising because of social media. And it's a different space at this moment now. YouTube, if you go on YouTube, before you make a comment, they give you a reminder to remember to be kind, to say something positive. The same thing is happening on Instagram. Now they're talking about actually erasing the likes because they understand people now have a thing where they attach their worth, their value to the amount of likes that they're getting on social media. And so, yeah, that is the bad part of social media. But definitely, a lot more young people are on it and now using it to promote themselves. And so, I'm in support of that. Right.
For you, how important is it for you to be socially responsible?
I mean, it's very important, just because, you know, you have people looking on and trying to figure out how they are going to live their own life. And as a matter of fact, I kind of like that. I'm a little bit, you know, more mature now, because had I been in this position at 15 years old, I probably would be thinking and saying some reckless things and not understanding the implications. So now when I communicate with some of the younger vloggers, the younger social media personalities, I try to pass on to them and say, hey, not all the time you need to go and vent. If you and somebody have an issue, understand that you have a different platform, so you can't just go up and say, yo, I'm cuss off this person and yeah. Have that conversation privately. Remember that outside of social media, you're actually a person. You have your own circle of friends, and those are the persons that you need to sometimes communicate messages with.
Do you have an intent behind each content that you develop? Do you have an intent? Or what do you
Sometimes I'm just random and be like, hey, I feel good about this, let's get it done. Just like I went to some fest and it was really something that was kind of planned, but then at the last minute I was just like, I want to be there because I just want to meet Spice and Coffee, and that was it. But there are other moments where I'm very calculated and structured. So like I'm thinking about a Halloween video. And so I'm going to, you know, put some thought behind that. I have my social media account on YouTube that it's where I examine or choose 10 things that people are talking about on social media. So if you do a video right now and you're probably the chair broke and you drop on the ground, it might be the random video of the week. That'd be funny. I'm gonna splice it in, put in some music and, you know, make it fun.
No, for you, making social media a business, how did you move into that phase?
Okay, so let me just say this. When I realized that I had now become some sort of an entrepreneur, I was very upset. Why? Because it gave me a space to really reflect on the traditional system, school system in Jamaica, and realize that we don't really talk about entrepreneurship very often.
No, we don't.
And so I remember the idea was basic school, primary school, high school, sixth form, you go to college and then you go on, you just, the automatic, you go look at work and work someplace.
Wear a necktie.
It had never occurred to me, yeah, my dream was to be working in New Kings, oh yeah, that's on the way. But my dream was to be working, you know, along there with like one of the case and stuff, because that is what I thought was represented being an adult and you're working.
And that would have been what our family would have passed on to us, because that was some level of your reach.
And so the idea that I actually had some sort of a talent, but it would never occur to me to monetize it. And it wasn't until I left from UWI and couldn't get a job for like 2 years. I was taking things off my resume.
What you studied at you?
Language and communication. And so I wanted to go into CARMAT, but at the time, I came to UAE to do sciences. Went the first month, tried the whole lab thing and the little Jimmy Neutron, Dexter's lab type of vibe, and nearly burned down the chemistry lab. I was doing an experiment and it went bad and I nearly catch a place of fire. So I thought that God was showing me a sign, said this is not for me.
Was a sign.
That was because I asked God for a sign, and I said this is the clear sign. So I basically went and said I want to transfer into a different faculty, and I went to language and communication. And so when I left from I realized I couldn't get a job. I remember my self-esteem, it just went, and it just month after month. And your parents, they're like, okay, what is happening? They see you home, they wonder like, are you not making an effort to get a job? I was on Facebook pages like, I need a job, Jamaica. And then it hit me like, hey, I've been doing this YouTube thing kind of on and off, kind of, not putting my all in it. I don't have a job now. This is the perfect time for me to just commit to it. And when I did, and then I had opportunities, with Cinco and some other people who came on board, and I realized that, wait, you mean for telling me I had this thing all along and didn't understand the value or the fact that it could be monetized and the talent, and nobody, it just blew my mind away. I was just like, so you mean I moved out and I'm on my own now because of my little fool videos them? And nobody would have told me this, and I was just like, I really wish growing up somebody or the school system put a lot more emphasis on young people really understanding entrepreneurship and seeing ways that they can monetize their talents, because a lot of us actually we're doing some jobs that we don't love, right. And we're probably the best bakers on the side, we're probably the best artists, we have so many other talents that we don't even realize could actually be the tool to take us out of poverty.
All right, we take a break. When we come back, we continue with Dutty about making a difference online. Welcome back to the show. Roshane Dutty is here with us. Now, stand-up comedy. What do you You have done a few?
Yeah, I've done a few, enough to say that I've done it. Honestly, it's not something that I love yet.
Yeah, why?
Because I think it's the last place where I still have some amount of insecurity, if I'm to be honest. Because stand-up, you really should be as raw and as possible, and you try to just like open up to people. And for me, I've been somebody who if I don't know you, I'm very much kind of like this.
And when you enter
that's shocking.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm getting better at it because of the Dutty personality, so I'm able to just like switch on the Dutty personality, and it gives me some confidence. But like the regular Roshane, and so I find out with stand-up, you have to go in front of the audience and see them like I friend them from a long time. I am there now. If I go in there and I'm thinking, oh my God, after the general manager, I mean, like, then my brain goes into, I should be respectful here. I should go, and then I'm looking in. If I see somebody yawn, I don't even know, say, I guess take up and you never sleep last night. Me, I think, say, oh, I'm boring, and everything gets into my head. And so I'm not as comfortable on that stage yet. But mind you, I've done it about 4 or 5 times, and it's gone pretty good. And then, but there was one time where it was horrible.
Do you watch your own content and do you laugh at it?
I was talking about it before we started this. I say, sometimes I do. Honestly, I get annoyed at myself sometimes. So after I do a video, I don't want to watch it. I say the same thing. So I'm like, brother, you're annoying sometimes. I just can't bother. My word. Because especially I edit my own things as well. Oh, yeah. So having to sit through and hear yourself, I was like, I don't want to hear it. But every now and again, you have that moment where I'm sure you have it too, where you look and you say, I do my thing, and you feel proud of yourself, and you're like, look at me, man, look how me look clean, look at my beard today. You feel proud of yourself, and so I have those. I'm going through that right now with my Sunfest interviews.
No, what about Sister Peaches? That's a character now. Who is that? Is that your grandmother?
Wow, that question, wow, that was a slick one. I totally forgot about that character, but people have been asking about Sister Peaches.
Brother Maloney, are you shouting at me?
My name is Rashenko. Don't call I by that name anymore.
Jesus, you see how I'm trying to carry out the work of you, Lord, but the devil is presenting himself in this rent-a-dread.
Sister Peaches is, I have to be careful. She's inspired by relatives I don't call it the names, but that she's inspired by her relatives, and I think at the time, and that was before everybody really started to do like a female character, I was just like, the women in my family are hilarious, and they're very religious and spiritual as well, but then they still have that country, that inner country girl still in there, and so if you try them, it will be released. So yeah, Sister Peaches came out of that.
Rastafari mananayag bingi pikini.
Lord, take the case and give me the pillow. Where is your God? My God is in heaven. Jesus, the real God. Take me to your God. Take me to your King. For all I know, him could have a constant spring.
Overall, how do you feel about your success online, your success in business because of online, and is it profitable?
Yes, it can be. Once you do develop a brand that goes beyond, there are a lot of influencers that are just YouTube or Instagram. They stay in that space. And so I think you have to immerse yourself in the culture and be a part of the people, and so that you become your own brand. So those are the things that I'm learning now. Like when people think of Dutty, where is he positioned in Jamaica? I see myself say I want to be like if Louise Bennett did born like in the 90s, I want to know so she would be doing the same thing that I would be doing. And so I want to position myself like that. So years from now, hopefully like no more than 10 years, when is it Heroes Day, when they have the like the award something, you go up go up there and collect it from the Governor General. I want to hear for outstanding contribution to YouTube and Instagram and social media. Roshane, Dutty Berry, I'm gonna go up there and like I'd love for things like that to happen. So somebody a few years from now can tell their mother or tell them father, say, yo, I want to be a YouTuber, and the mother don't say, yo, okay, now waste man think that. The mother will know, see the work that I have done and be like, yo, if you follow the path that Dutty did in terms of ensuring that he was successful, I support you 100% doing YouTube and social media.
What would you say to youngsters now about honing their talent and just focusing on developing the craft?
I would say to them, don't waste time and don't be lazy. It's very, very hard, and to really trust the things that you do well without a lot of effort. I sat down and everybody told me that, yo, I tried to convince myself that I was a science kid, and everybody else and every other indication was showing me the arts something over there, but I wasn't listening to it. I was just like, no. Until
you bomb up the place.
Yeah. and so when I think about the last time that I could have been, like doing YouTube, I could have been farther ahead had I just really honed my skill in that area. I would have just been doing some amazing things right now. And so now I'm trying to play catch up. So what I'd say to that young person out there, to seize the time right now, do not waste it. Understand that all of us will have a gift, and even if you don't get the support now, it will happen later, because when you start out, you might not have the numbers, and nowadays we feel like if we're not getting the numbers, that means that the quality isn't good. But trust me and believe that the minute when the Tessanne thing happened, people started to look at my old videos and be like, where were you all along? I never know you were doing this long time. And I was just like, look at me thinking some of my videos weren't up to par, they weren't ever good.
But that's also a lesson about timing. Wait your time, and the time will come, and be patient. Yeah,
that is true. That is definitely true, because I say people, Trabas, Kevin Too Crazy, everybody else, they come after me and bust before me, and I could have just said like, yo, let me give up, but I stuck with it and said it was until 6 years later it actually happened. How many of you out there are willing to invest 6 years before you have the biggest break that you can get? As long as you're improving year after year and you're dedicated, stick to the path.
Important message. Thank you so very much, sir, for sharing with us, and I look forward to a lot more videos from you.
Yeah, man. Hopefully you drop off a chair and you reach my countdown.
Well, I'm not looking forward to dropping off no chair. We want to thank you so much for sharing with us on The Alric Show. The Alric Show will be back next week.